What's up, your mga ka-eduk? This is JJ Kasensai and welcome back to our Bura Bura live stream episode. So this day, we're going to talk about Module 7, which is Behaviorism under the course Facilitating Learner-Centered Teaching. So bago ko ipakilala ang ating mga co-discussants for today, shout out muna po pala sa aking napaka-thoughtful na asawa, Mami Leia, sa Galay Reporsado. Mami, salamat po sa bagong polo shirt. Okay? Sa bagong polo. Okay? Maraming salamat, Mami. Sana all. Okay. Mama, sana all. Susunod meron pa dapat. Okay. So, shoutout ulit sa aking putihing YT. Sana I hope nanonood kayo ng ating baby, si Mabi. Yan. Nandiyan sila sa baba. Okay? So, ayan. So, maraming salamat ulit, Mami, sa bagong shirt. Bagong polo. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, time check muna natin. It's already 2:07 in the afternoon. So, pag ang klase namin is Friday, palagi kami nauuna sa time. Sorry na po sa ating academic administrators. Supposedly dapat 2:30 PM kami mag-start, but we are actually beating Filipino culture. Yung Filipino time, okay? So, palaging late. So, pag Friday, palagi kaming early. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, our topic for today is Module 7, Behaviorism. Now, to discuss this, I would like to present to you our discussants. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, ito ang ating mga discussants sa araw na ito. Okay, so first we have, ayan, ang gayon. We have Ma'am Abril May Salturio. Hello, Ma'am.
Hello po. Good afternoon po, sir.
Okay, so batiin natin ang ating mga kabarangay. Come on.
Hello sa mga kabarangay ko dyan. Kung may nanonood man, Barangay Ubaliw. And then shout out din. Shout out din sa mga classmates ko kung nandyan na kayo. Napakaaga nyo naman dumating.
Ayos. So thank you very much, Ma'am April Salturio. So yan pala ni Kasobali. Pagod akong taga-sign ka. Patangina ng signal mo.
Po, sir.
Di ba?
Ako
Malapit.
po, sir, nag-iisang taga-Pulangi.
So yan ka mo, arani sa kayong tower. Ba't mahina yung signal nyo? Anyway, okay, so baka
Hindi
naiipit
ko rin
ka
po alam, sir.
baka naiipit ka ng mga bahay-bahay dyan. Anyway, so thank you very much ulit, Ma'am Salturio. Okay, our next discussant is Ma'am Kyle Bocalbos. Ma'am, bati ka po.
Hello, good afternoon sa lahat ng mga nanonood.
Okay, ma'am, batiin natin ang ating mga kabarangay.
Binabati ko po mga kabarangay ko taga Muladbukad, Pequeño, Ginubatan, Albay.
Okay, mga taga Buladbukad, Ginubatan, Albay, shout out po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to our Bura Bura Course live stream. Thank you very much, Ma'am Kyle Bocalbos. Okay, ang susunod na discussion for today's topic ay si Ma'am Rodeline Bobier. Ma'am, bati ka po.
Hi po sa lahat. Shout out sa Math Peeps, Banana Peeps, and sa lahat ng Bisad Math
Ayan.
students.
So, ma'am, batiin natin yung ating mga kabarangay. Come on.
Hello po sa mga taga Doña Tomasa, Ginubatan, Albay.
Okay.
Sana live stream. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, so shoutout ulit sa ating mga taga Ginubatan, Albay. Okay, so dalawa yung ating mga taga Ginubatan, kay isa from Pulangi. At yung panghuli nating discussant, which is Ma'am Jenny Ann Bagangan. Tama-tama yung pagka-pronounce ko, no? Ma'am,
Yes
tama?
po, sir.
Ayos. Ma'am Jenny Ann Bagangan, bati ka po.
Hello po, I'm Jenny Ann of Agangan and shout out po sa mga taga-Palanas, Ginubatan, Albay.
Yun!
And ngayon po, nasa Moraro, Ginubatan, Albay po. Kasi medyo mahina talaga yung signal doon sa amin.
Oo, ay.
Math student.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Jenny Bagangan. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have one from Pulangi and 3 discussants from Ginubatan, Albay. So, ladies and gentlemen, sila po ang ating mga discussant for today's topic regarding sa Module 7, which is Behaviorism. Okay? Ulitin nga natin. We have Ma'am Salturio, Ma'am Bocalbos, Ma'am Bobier, and Ma'am Bagangan. Okay, so sila po yung tutulong sa atin para i-discuss at malinawan ng ating mga listeners, lalong-lalo ang ating mga ka-edu, regarding po sa Module 7, which is Behaviorism. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, wag aalis. We'll be right back. Okay, what's up your mga ka-edu? This is JJ Casente again, your host in this topic, Module 7, Behaviorism. And to discuss us with our first topic regarding po dito sa Behaviorism, may I call now, sino nga yung discuss it natin? Okay, may I call on now Miss Salturio. Ma'am, it's your turn. Take charge.
Thank you, sir. So, good afternoon, sir, and to our viewers who are watching the live stream. Again, I am Abril May B. Salturio from Beside Math 3, and you can address me as Miss Abby, and I'll be the first one in line to discuss and share to you the behaviorism. So, what is behaviorism? Behaviorism, or the behavioral learning theory, is a popular concept that focuses on how students learn. Behaviorism also focuses on the idea that all behaviors are learned through interaction with the environment. It is a theory of learning that is based on the idea that all behavior is acquired through conditioning. It emphasizes that behavior is mostly learned through conditioning and reinforcement, which is the reward or the punishment. So under this behaviorism, there are two types of conditioning, which is the classical conditioning and the operant conditioning. So first, the classical conditioning is a process that involves creating an association between a naturally existing stimulus and a previously neutral one. So this is where the subject learns to associate two unrelated stimuli with each other. So we have here an example of classical conditioning. So a math teacher with his or her defective method of teaching and improper behavior in the classroom may be disliked by the learners. So the learners may develop hatred towards math due to teacher's behavior. So sa example na to, the neutral one is the math subject, and the unconditioned stimulus is the math teacher or yung approach nung teacher. And then the unconditioned response, it will be the hatred or the dislike ng students. So kapag dahil doon, kapag na-encounter na nila ang math, parang nasa isip na nila na parang kunwari, hindi maganda yung approach nung teacher, diba, sa kanila about math. So parang isipin na nila, sobrang hirap ng math, parang, hindi ko kaya ang math, tapos ganon. So every time na may encounter na nila yung math, parang nandun na yung fear and then the dislike too. So kaya talaga maraming may ayaw sa math. So as a future math teacher, we must know strategies and approaches that will help us to teach the learners properly.
Yan.
And then
Tama, well said.
Next, yes. And then next, the operant conditioning. Operant conditioning focuses on using either reinforcement or punishment to increase or decrease a behavior. So this is where the subject learns behavior by associating stimuli with each other. So we have here an example. First is a student get detention after being late for class too many times. So dito, the students, ang ano niya is lagi siyang late. And to decrease, para mabawasan yung pagiging late niya, so binigyan siya ng punishment, which is the detention. So para ma-decrease yung, di na siya magpara-late, para di na siya laging late, para lagi nang nasa isip niya na, ay, pag ako na late ulit, baka i-detention na naman ako. So, wag tayong maging late. Dapat wag tayong...
Ano yan? Medyo pababain natin yung term. Kasi yung word na detention, parang ano yan eh. Parang ano, ikukulong ka ko. So, yung tinutukoy dito ni, ni Miss, tawag po dito, ni Miss, kung ano na ba sabi dito, ni Miss Salturio, is, yung regarding sa punishment, okay? Para hindi na masyadong ano yan, let's say, mabago yung perception or let's say yung attitude ng bata towards the subject or let's say yung kanyang behavior, okay? At least, pwedeng ma-improve or pwedeng lumala, okay? Kasi sabi dito, it may be punishment or enforcement. Tama? Pero ang key term palagi is, ilagay palagi sa tamang control. Kasi pag nasobrahan, yung punishment, nako, mayroon dyan estudyante talaga na hindi na talaga sa inyo makikinig. Bakit? Una-una, baka napahiyan nyo. Okay? Or let's say, napahiya sa klase. Okay? So, or kaya, ito pa yung mas mas malupit dyan, nasobra naman abong. Na pinagparabos ni estudyante, nasobra ng abong, nagambog na lugod. Ayan isa rin sa mga reason kung bakit may mga estudyante rin na hate yung estudyante. Although, love mo yung estudyante, pero yung mga kaklase hindi. Because parang meron daw favoritism sa loob ng classroom. So, yun mga iniiwasan natin. So, yun po yung yung operant conditioning. So, parang nagdagdag lang dito ng konting element, which is reinforcement or punishment. Di ba, ma'am?
Yes po, sir.
Okay.
So, yes. And next, let us know the prominent theories in behaviorism and what is their contribution. So the first one to discuss, may I call on Miss Bocalbos to share who is he and what he contributed.
Ayos.
Miss
So,
Bocalbos,
thank you very much, Ma'am Salturio. Okay, so mamaya po, babalikan natin si Ma'am Salturio kasi meron pa siyang isang topic to be discussed. Thank you very much, Ma'am, for that introduction. Okay, let's proceed now sa ating next reporter. We have Ma'am Bocalbos. Ma'am?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone, sa mga viewers natin dyan. So, ngayon, pag-usapan natin yung Pavlov classical conditioning. So, first, about Ivan Pavlov. He was born on September 26, 1849, and he died on February 27, 1936. Ivan Pavlov was a Russian physiologist best known in psychology for discovery of classical conditioning. So, ano ba tong classical conditioning? It is a learning process that occurs through associations between an environmental stimulus and a naturally occurring stimulus. So, during his study on the digestive system of dogs, Pavlov noted that the animals salivated naturally upon the presentation of food. So, next, Ivan Pavlov is perhaps most well known for his works and in conditioning dogs to salivate at the sound of a tone after pairing food with the sound over time. So, Pavlov's research is regarded as the first to explore the theory of classical conditioning. His exploration of the stimulus-response model, the association formed in the brain, and the effect of certain parameters on developing new behavior became a foundation of future experiments in the study of human and animals' behavior. So, Ivan Pavlov is best known not only for classical conditioning. He is also awarded the Nobel Prize of Physiology or Medicine 1904 in the recognition of his work on the physiology of digestion. So now, let's talk about the components of classical conditioning. So first, in classical conditioning, the unconditioned stimulus is a feature of the environment that causes a natural and automatic unconditioned responses. So in Pavlov's study, in the first picture, makikita natin yung dog and a bowl of food. So ang unconditioned stimulus natin dyan is yung food. Then next, unconditioned response is an unlearned response that occurs automatically. Parang kusa lang. So, sa first picture, yung food is the unconditioned stimulus. Siyempre, yung dog, automatic sa kanya yung response na mag-salivate. So, yon sa siya, before conditioning pa siya. Next, the conditioned stimulus, it is a substitute stimulus that trigger the same response in an organism as an unconditioned stimulus. So next, the neutral stimulus, it does not produce any response. So sa second picture, may bell and may dog. Yung bell, pag pinag-ring mo yung bell, walang response yung dog.
Kasi wala yung pagkain. Diba?
Yes, sir. Kasi yung bell, it represents the neutral stimulus.
Yes.
Ibig sabihin, parang wala lang. Di alam yung dog kung para saan yun that time.
Mm-mm.
So next, the third picture, makikita natin yung bell with the food, then yung pag-salivate ng dog. Yung bell represents the neutral stimulus. During the conditioning na po yan then pinag-combine yung unconditioned stimulus which is the food. Dahil doon sa pag-combine ng dalawang yon, nagkaroon ng response yung dog which is the salivating during the conditioning. Then, ibig sabihin, that time, during conditioning, parang nagigets nung aso na kapag may bell, ibig sabihin, tinatawag siya para kumain.
Yes.
So, parang nakukondisyon na yung mindset ng dog.
Yes.
Then, the last picture is makikita na natin na meron na siyang reaction, meron ng response sa pag-ring ng bell.
Yes.
Diba?
Okay.
So, ibig sabihin, after conditioning, alam na ng dog na once na nag-bell ka ng ring, ibig sabihin, meron ng food, kakain na siya. Kaya, once na pinag-bell yung ring, nagsasalivate na agad siya kasi na-condition na yung yung utak niya na it's time to eat na.
Yes. Tama. So, paano natin to ngayon ibabahagi sa ating mga learners? Yung explanation po guys ni Ma'am Boss, yun po yung pinakadetalyado dito. Okay? Kasi yun po talaga yung experiment. Okay? So, yun po yung pinag-aralan po ni Ivan Pavlov. Ngayon, with regards to this, sa loob ng educational setup natin sa classroom. Since kayo mga high school students, okay, alam ko po, naka-experience na kayo ng ganito. Okay? Naka-experience na kayo ng ganito. Unang pasok ni teacher sa loob ng klase, meron siyang mga ginagawa dyan na bago pa lang yan sa inyo. Okay? For example, tapping of stick, pagbubukas ng libro, pag-ukuha ng class card. Yung pinakamalapit sa lahat is class card. Okay? Ngayon kasi wala ng class card, di ba? Panahon namin, daming class card eh. Noong una, pag kumuha ng class card, akala lang namin is attendance. Alam namin attendance. Lalo kung hindi nagsabi na mayroong graded recitation. Nako, yari kayo dyan. Okay? Tapos, nung habang tumatagal, naiiba na yung yung pananaw ng estudyante. And this time, pumapasok na yung conditioning ng teacher. Na every time na siya ay magbabalasa ng card. Alam niyo na kung ano mangyayari, di ba? It's time for you to enter the game. Di ba? First game, di ba? Kakawa koche. yan yung unang laro, di ba? Yari diyan pag hindi nakapagsagot yung mabubunot na estudyante. Kaya sa mga susunod na date, sa mga susunod na araw, ang problema dito, kapag hindi binago ni teacher yung style niya, yung mga estudyante, pag kumuha ng class card si teacher, si ma'am or si sir, alam na nangarampag na ka, di ba? Nangyari yan sa inyo, nangarampag na ka mo sa classroom kasi na ngayon sukudi ko yan.
Yes,
May
sir.
board work, di ba? Pag board work ngayon, kasi alam nyo na na ganun yun. It's a grade recitation. So this is just one of the example inside the classroom about classical conditioning. Right, ma'am? Tama ba yung explanation natin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's proceed po.
So next, we have the other examples of classical conditioning.
Napabasa mo? Maliit.
Examples lang naman po. Then naka-indicate na yung process ng from unconditioned stimulus hanggang sa nagets niya na yung
Okay,
Sa
so
first part po, dyan, a student na nabubuli.
yan. Sige, ma'am, explain mo to.
Yung unconditioned stimulus natin, yung student na nabubuli. Then yung response niya, nagkaroon na siya ng fear, pumasok.
So ano yan? Pareho rin to kasi minsan may teacher ding bully. Estudyante.
Yes, sir.
Ang nangyayari, kung di ninyo napabawian sa estudyante, ang tingin niyan sa inyo, binubully niyo siya palagi. Pwede yung physical bully or pwedeng oral bully. Sa salita lang. Kaya minsan, yung estudyante, naririnig yung boses ni ma'am tapos ni sir, pag tinawag siya, nangabog-kabog na. So, there is a chance that learning is disrupted because of fear. Sabi ng nakalagay dyan sa sa discussion ni Ma'am Bocalbos. Di ba, ma'am? So, ganun na nangyayari eh. So, sa tingin ninyo, this example would be, positive or negative sa loob ng classroom? Sa tingin nyo?
Negative, sir.
Oo. So, okay. Let's proceed po.
Next na po, sir. So, next si Miss Salturio po.
Okay. Tapos ka na.
Ako, sir.
Okay. So, yon. So, ladies and gentlemen, so napakalinaw ng pagkaka-explain sa atin ni Ma'am Bocalbos regarding po dito sa unang method para sa pag-facilitate ng learning sa loob ng classroom. Tatandaan nyo palagi, Ivan Pavlov, ma'am. Pag Ivan Pavlov po, ano yung sa kanya?
Classical condition.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Bocalbos. Ladies and gentlemen, tapos na tayo sa sa pangalawa natin discussion regarding dito sa behaviorism. Okay, so I hope you learned something and next reporter will be Ma'am Salturio ulit. Right? Ikaw ulit, ma'am?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I think we should have a little break kasi marami tayong natutunan ngayong araw. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay, nagbabalik ang inyong host, CJ Casensay. Time check, ladies and gentlemen. It's already 2:30 in the afternoon. Ito na yung oras para mag-start kami. Pumasok. Pero advance na kami. So, nga pala talaga dapat importante maaga kasi pag maaga, mas madami ang magagawa. Ayos! So, pasalamatan natin yung mga discussant natin ngayong araw for that very wonderful discussion regarding dun sa topic natin kanina, which is the classical conditioning by Ivan Pavlov and the introduction of behaviorism. Okay? So ngayon, ladies and gentlemen, babalikan natin si Ma'am Salturio to discuss us the next topic in this Module 7. Okay, ma'am? It's your turn na po.
So, before ko i-introduce si John Watson, kung sino ba si John Watson, shout out ko muna. Good afternoon kay Prince Anthony Raposon. Nag-good afternoon siya sa akin kanina.
Ay, wow.
And then kay Mary Grace Rayola na nagsasabing, ang cute, ang ganda daw ng blush on ko.
Sabi ko sa'yo eh.
And then, kay Lauren Bermudo from Libon, and also Nicole Regolario. So now let us move on to the next tourist, which is John Watson. So he is an American psychologist who established the psychological school of behaviorism. He too was initially involved in animal studies, then later became involved in human behavior research. So his main contribution in behaviorism is his experiment called the Little Albert experiment, which is influenced by Pavlov's classical conditioning. So next po. So in Little Albert experiment, wherein naghanap siya wherein he took 9 months talaga na child, and gave a pseudonym which is Albert. So the Little Albert experiment presents an example of how classical conditioning can be used to condition an emotional response. So dito naman, emotion. Ang ano naman dito is how to, kung i-condition niya yung emotional response ng isang bata. So
yes.
next, these are the elements of the classical conditioning in the Little Albert experiment. So the neutral stimulus here is the white rat, and the unconditioned stimulus is the loud noise, and the unconditioned response is the fear, and the conditioned stimulus, the white rat, and then the conditioned response will be the fear. So next po. So para mas maintindihan natin, so before conditioning, makikita natin na si Little Albert likes the rat. Wala siyang fear. Gusto niya yung rat, pinapet-pet pa niya, and hindi lang niya kinikiss. Then, si Little Albert then, meron siyang fear, and his fear is loud noises. So, umiiyak siya kapag may narinig siya na ingay. For example, dito is the steel bar hitting with the hammer. So, during the conditioning na, kapag lumalapit si Little Albert dun sa white rat, ginagawa ni Watson is kinakalampag niya yung metal. Nagpo-produce siya ng sound na clang, clang, clang. And then, dahil doon, ang natural reflex ni Little Albert is natatakot siya. He gets scared. So, after ng conditioning, every time na makikita na ni Little Albert si White Rat, imbis na ipet-pet niya, or imbis na matuwa siya, umiiyak na siya, natatakot na siya palagi. And yun na yung parang naging result, or yun na yung naging condition response na niya every time na makakita siya ng white rats.
Okay.
So, this Little Albert experiment was influenced by the classical conditioning ni Pavlov. Pero, classical conditioning ni Pavlov. Pero, ang dito ni Watson is the emotion, yung pinag-condition niya. Yung emotional response ng child.
Okay. Ang Little Albert experiment kasi, ladies and gentlemen, isa to sa mga napaka-importanting experiment na ginawa, okay, for emerging learners. Kasi nga, yung bata pa, okay? Ang importante kasi ditong malaman ng mga kaguruan is that emotion plays a very big role or factor in learning. Kaya pag nanakot kayo ng estudyante, ay, asahan nyo yan. Takatakpasan na ikan at kuha ninyo ang takong. Ay, yun na naman ngesi. Jesus ko Mariose. Ayan. Parang ganun yung epekto sa...
Itutulfo na, sir.
Ano?
Baka, sir, itutulfo na po, sir. Kapag po may ginawang, yung teacher, tapos nagalit o natakot yung estudyante, baka itulfo po.
Mga ganyan ngayon di ba? So, actually, yung mga ganyang bagay, dapat isolve muna yan sa loob ng classroom. Kaya nga dapat si teacher, tayo, okay, bilang mga guro, okay, we are aware, okay, we must be sensitive of our students. Kasi hindi lahat ng estudyante insensitive. May mga estudyante very sensitive. Mamapagalitan mo pa lang, wala na. Okay, namangin mo inasugurang. Nagsumbong na pala. So, iingatan natin to. This little urban experiment is very important. Okay? Likewise doon sa classical conditioning. Sabi nga kanina ni ma'am, okay, this is based actually on classical conditioning because there are, tawag ba dito, mga conditions. Diba? So, imagine niyo ginawa na to sa inyo ng magulang nyo, di nyo lang alam. Ginawa na to sa inyo ng magulang nyo. Diba? Alam ko ginawa yan sa magulang ninyo. Kaya kayo, lalo na yung mga masunuring bata, minsan sa buhay ninyo, takot na takot kayo sa magulang ninyo. Ginawa na sa atin to ng mga parents natin. Pero ang kagandahan kasi nito, okay, it is beneficial. Very beneficial for us. Kaya kayo ngayon, aware sa mga nangyari sa inyo noon. Kasi alam ninyo, may magandang na itutulong din pala. Okay? Yung mga ganitong uri ng conditioning sa bata. Okay? So, importante din na may takot. Hindi, ang nakakatakot kasi kung yung bata, wala man lang takot. Medyo konting takot lang, pero wag naman yung sobrang fear. Okay? So, it will lead to baka makrung-krung yung bata. Naku, nakakatakot yung mga ganyan eh. So, control lang tayo. Okay? Let's proceed, ma'am.
So, unfortunately, nung sa Little Albert experiment, nung natapos na yung experiment ni Watson, nung binalik nila yung bata, hindi na nila pinag-undo yung ginawa nilang experiment. So, hanggang sa lumaki, hanggang sa namatay yung bata, hindi niya alam kung bakit siya may takot sa daga, sa white rat. Tuwing nakikita niya.
Ayun nga eh. So, kung gagamitin natin yung ganitong little Albert experiment, so nabilot ako, Albert experiment sa loob ng classroom, nang siram kayo nung pinangmuntuan ko kayo, nabilot ako sa siram. Okay. So, kung gagamitin natin, mga ka-edu, kung gagamitin natin ang little Albert experiment, kasasabi lang po ni Ma'am Salturio, pag na-i-apply to, pabawian nyo si estudyante. Pabawian ninyo. Okay, para hindi, remember, education is like a virus. Pag yan na-spread mo, tapos hindi mo naayos, nako po, dala-dala niya ang pagtanda. Tapos ikakalat din niya nung bata, ay, pag ngayon ba, mati ng takot, mga ganyan. Okay, without any, referring to factual information, di ba? So, pabawian sa mga estudyante, ha? Huwag yan palalabasin sa classroom na takot sa inyo. Kasi iba yung impression. Remember, first impression, last. Okay, thank you very much. Let's proceed po, ma'am.
So now, let us proceed to the next tourist, which will be introduced to us by Miss Bobier.
Okay. So, thank you very much, Ma'am Salturio. Okay, well said. And let's proceed po sa ating next discussant. We have Ma'am Bobier. Okay, Ma'am?
So, the next one is, introduce muna si Edward Lee Thorndike. So, his full name is Edward Lee Thorndike and born on August 31, 1874 in Massachusetts, US. Then, he died on August 9, 1949 in New York. He is well-known American psychologist whose work on animal behavior and the learning process that led to the theory of connectionism. So, connectionism theory is a principle of active learning and the result of the work of the American psychologist Edward Thorndike. This work led to Thorndike's law, which is the law of effect, the law of readiness, and the law of exercise. So, Edward Lee Thorndike is regarded as the first to study the operant conditioning or learning from consequences of behaviors.
Yan. Tama.
He was the psychologist who first proposed that connectionism is key to learning. So para sa kanya, connectionism is the key to learning. Sabi ko nga, connectionism was Thorndike's main philosophy, and he said that learning is about responding to stimuli. So, para maging successful yung learning, a student must respond to a stimuli.
Okay, so in short, stimulus response. Okay? Let's proceed, ma'am.
So, he came up with the experiment of the puzzle box, which is an experiment included placing hungry cats in an enclosed container. And that enclosed container is referred to as a puzzle box from which they had to escape in order to reach food. So makikita natin dun sa picture, may lever, then may string, then yung string is nakakonect na nakalock siya sa pinto ng puzzle box. And outside, or the trapdoor, tas outside that puzzle box is my food. So, ang goal dito is malaman ng cat kung paano yung way na makakalabas siya with that given stimuli, and dapat ma-realize niya kung paano yung response niya doon para makalabas siya and makuha niya yung reward
Pagkain.
na food. And so we can see that sa first na mga attempt nung cat is magkakaiba yung time niya because hindi pa nila alam kung para saan yung lever and paano siya makaka-escape doon sa puzzle box.
Yes.
So, because of the subsequent experiment showed a marked decrease in time. So, as alam na ng cat kung paano yung way niya para makalabas and makuha niya yung food sa labas ng puzzle box, mas nadi-decrease yung time allotted kung paano siya makakalabas doon sa puzzle box.
Tama.
So, the cat learned that the same lever would consistently open the box and nakukuha niya yung reward na food.
Okay.
The classic example of Thorndike stimuli response theory is yun ngang cat learning to escape from a puzzle box by pressing a lever inside the box. So, parang ang una niya is trial and error behavior kasi wala pa namang prior knowledge yung cat kung para saan yung lever na ginagamit. So, trial and error siya, and yung time nga is different siya from time to time kasi di pa alam nung cat kung paano yung response niya dapat doon. So the cat learns to associate pressing the lever, which is the stimuli, with opening the door, the response. So this stimuli response connection is established because it's result in a satisfying state of affair, which is nakaka-escape siya from the box. Then the law of exercise specifies that the connection was established because the stimuli and response pairing occurred many times, which is the law of effect, and was rewarded. Law of effect din siya as well as forming a single sequence, or the law of readiness. So, Edward Thorndike has 3 laws of learning. The first one is the law of effect, which proposes that pleasurable consequences lead to repetition while unpleasant outcomes extinguish behavior. So, pag yung yung consequences is pleasurable para sa'yo or maganda yung outcome nung isang bagay na ginawa mo. So, magiging parang uulit-ulitin siya. I-repeat mo siyang gawin kasi nga, pleasurable yung outcome.
Yes.
Tapos, pag yung outcome naman is hindi maganda, less likely to occur na siya kasi hindi maganda yung outcome.
Kaya effect, di ba? Low effect.
So,
Ganun siya. Okay, tama
yes,
ma'am.
Po. If you study and then, for example po, if you study and then get a good grade on a test, you will be more likely to study for the next exam. So parang, yung outcome mo is magiging inspiration mo siya to do something kasi maganda yung outcome para sa'yo. And law of effect, it holds the responses to stimuli that produce a satisfying or pleasant state of affairs in a particular situation are more likely to occur again in the situation. So conversely, responses that produce a discomforting, annoying, or unpleasant effect are less likely to occur again in the situation.
Siyempre naman, di ba?
Then the next one is the law of readiness, which explains that learners will be resistant to learning until they are ready. So, ang learners daw, dapat, para maging successful yung learning, dapat ready siya. So, hindi lang siya ready na nandun siya, yung presence niya is nandun, dapat ready siya in physically and psychology. So what we mean by physically is ready siya, wala siyang sick condition, and ready in psychology means learner do not have mental sickness or other illnesses about sa mental health. Then based on Thorndike, there are some conditions that appear in this law, such as when someone is ready to perform some act, to do so is satisfying. So pag ang isang tao is ready to do something and nagawa yon, nasasatisfy siya. Then the next one, when someone is ready to perform some act, not to do so is annoying. So pag ang learners or ang isang tao is ready na gawin yung isang bagay, then hindi siya natuloy or hindi niya nagawa, naaanoy siya. Then the third one is when someone is not ready to perform some act and is forced to do so, it is annoying. So, pag ang isang tao is not ready and pinag-force siya or pinilit siyang gawin yung isang bagay na hindi naman siya ready, nagre-result yun ng annoyance.
Kaya kung ayaw pa nung jowa ninyo, wag muna. Wag muna mag-date. Wag muna mag-date. Wag pilitin. Law of readiness. Sus ko. Yan. Sige, let's proceed ba?
Then, the next one is the law of exercise, which states that what is practiced strengthens while what is not practiced becomes weaker.
Yes.
So, pag inulit natin yung isang bagay, mas nagiging strong siya. And pag di natin naman ginagawa yung isang bagay, syempre, hihina siya or madi-disregard na lang siya.
Tama.
Then, in connection between condition and action, which can be strong by doing exercises, but it will be weak if the connection, both of them, is stopped. In this case, exercises contains two things, which is, the first is the law of use, that is connection between condition and action can be strong if there is an exercise. So, ang connection between the condition and the action, magiging strong siya pag ginagawa ng paulit-ulit or na-exercise. Then the second one is the law of disuse, which is the connection between condition and action that can be weakened if the exercise is stopped.
Okay. Tama naman. For example, mathematical skills ninyo. Ang skill ninyo nung ano yan, lalo na pag mag-let kayo, ang mathematics skills ninyo yan, magbo-boost yan from 85% to 99%. Bakit? Kailangan yung pumasa eh. Tapos maalala niyo, pagkatapos yung pumasa, pababa yan ng pababa. Mga ako magadalgay ka, hindi naman nga ako mag-exam. Totoo yan eh, nangyayari yan. Bakit tabuno ka, di puno nga nga ka to be. Di mo na alam, di ba? Ganun yung nangyayari sa law of exercise. Okay, let's proceed, ma'am.
So, these three laws, meron siyang 5 characteristics of learning na proposed ni Thorndike. So, the first one is the multiple response or the varied reaction, which is pag may na encounter na problem, ang isang tao or the animal will try one response after another until it finds success. So, parang trial and error siya ulit. Magkakaroon ng multiple response until na maging successful siya kung ano yung dapat na response doon sa problem na na-encounter. Then the second one is the set or attitude. The responses that an animal will try and the results that it will find satisfying depend largely on the animal's attitude or state at the time. So, nakadepende yung response niya sa attitude or the state that time. Yung time na yun, kung ano yung attitude niya, doon makikita kung ano yung dapat na i-response niya para maging satisfied siya. Then the third one is the partial activity or prepotency of elements, which certain features of a situation may be prepotent in determining a response, then others and an animal is able to attend to critical elements and ignore less important one. So, dito naman is ini-ignore yung mga hindi masyadong importante and nagpo-focus lang dun sa mga importanteng bagay. This ability to attend to parts of the situation makes possible response by analogy and learning through insight. So hindi partial lang siya at hindi parang may part lang ng situation na magkakaroon ng possible response yung isang tao. So the fourth one is the assimilation. So due to the assimilation of analogous elements between two stimuli, an animal will respond to a novel stimulus in a way it has previously responded to a similar stimulus. So sa assimilation naman is, nagre-respond yung isang animal, depende dun sa prior na stimulus, nakaparehas lang nung na-encounter niya. Then the last one is the associative shifting. Associative shifting refers to the transfer of a response evoked by a given stimulus to an entirely different stimulus. So ito namang associative shifting, nasi-shift yung response mo dahil dun sa given na stimulus to the another stimulus. So parang nalilipat siya. Nalilipat yung natatransfer yung response mo given by that stimulus. So, laws of learning in the classroom, examples are a teacher can apply the law of effect by engaging students in hands-on, inquiry-based, and relevant learning activities which provide intrinsic motivation. So, para ma-practice or ma-exercise yung laws of learning inside the classroom, pwede magbigay ng activities yung teacher which will engage the students like mga hands-on activities, inquiry-based, and yung mga relevant learning activities na makakapag-develop pa nung knowledge ng students or learning. Then the second one is to use the law of readiness. A teacher should allow a student to learn at his or her own pace. Kasi ang students may mga different pace siya ng learning. May mabagal, may mabilis mag-pick up, tas may mga slow learner. So, the teacher, parang i-depend niya yung kung paano niya iaano yung knowledge or learning process ng students. Para nakadepende kung paano nila mapipick up yung learnings. Kung dapat ba gagawin niya pang mabilisan or yung para nakadepende lagi sa students kung ano yung dapat na gamiting methods or strategies.
Tama.
Then the last one is using the law of exercise in a classroom requires a teacher to help a student practice skills so that the skill is reinforced. So yun nga, our main role as a teacher or as a future teacher is to help our students to practice their skills, their abilities, and to develop them para sa betterment ng or for their future uses or para ma-enforce yung skill nila and mas magamit nila yon sa ibang bagay pa. So that's all. And then, sir.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Javier. Well said, Ma'am. So, napakalinaw ng explanation, mga kapatid. Okay, so, ngayon, in addition dito, I want to clear out the connection. Kasi connectivism to, di ba? Okay, so in-explain ni Ma'am kanina detalyado isa-isa. Ngayon, babalikan ko yung pusa. Babalikan natin yung pusa. Okay, so, tingnan nyo mga kapatid, ha? Yung pusa po, meron po dyang lever. Okay? Meron po dyang lever, yung pusa nakaloob sa isang kahon or karton, tapos may pagkain sa labas. Pag na-push yung lever, makakalabas siya. Ngayon, ibalik natin or let's say, i-connect natin sa law of effect. Effect muna mga kapatid. Law of effect. Ibig sabihin, pleasurable. Okay, pwedeng pleasurable, pwedeng hindi. Pwedeng miserable. Dalawa lang yan eh. Pwedeng pleasurable, miserable o miserable. Alam kasi nung pusa, masarap yung pagkain. Uulit, hindi. Uulit ako, masarap yun eh, di ba? Isa sa mga ano yan, ugali ng tao. Pwede yon. Ngayon, sabi naman dito sa law of readiness, gutom na ako. I need to eat. Ready na akong kumain. Talagang lalabas yung pusa dyan sa kahon. Kasi gutom na gutom yun eh. Tama? Ready na yung pusa. At eto pang malupit. Kauulit-ulit, the law of exercise. Ipinagay ulit sa kahon. Nakailang eksperimento, sabi kanina ni Ma'am may ibang oras. Depende yung yung pusa na yon, isa lang talaga yung pusa na yon. Ginilagay yung pusa sa mga time na gutom siya, hindi pa siya gutom, or sa time na mas mabilis siyang nakalabas, hindi siya mabilis nakalabas, o ang tagal niya talaga nakalabas. Depende yun sa tatlong effect. Okay? Sa tatlong learning laws. So, yung law of exercise, dahil na-master na yung pagganyan ng lever, nako, nang dali, nasa na sa kanya. Kahit anong pagkain pa yan nandyan, pag ginanyo yung lever, makakalabas siya, makakain siya. That's law of exercise. So, in connection dito, pinakita o pinaliwanag sa ating kanina ni Ma'am Javier, yung law of effect, law of readiness, and exercise in the classroom setup. Ngayon kasi sa law of effect, mga kapatid, okay, kung mapapansin ninyo, sabi ko kanina, it's either pleasure or miserable. Pleasurable or miserable. Ang problema dito, kung palagi na lang miserable yung nangyayari sa estudyante, law of effect, hindi na yan mag-aaral. Gustaan tayo, hindi na mag-aaral. Kaya ang daming estudyante nawawala ng, sabi nyo kanina, sabi ni Mama yan, Salturi, nawawalan daw ng interest sa math. Ngata, for example, di nakasolve sa ano yan, sa board work. Nagsupog. Tulo pa ka mo pagkataraning. Nagsupog. Kaya mas maganda mag-board work kung po pwede na lang, nasa labas lahat ng estudyante. Isa-isa lang. 'Di ba? Ang problema nun, medyo time consuming. Pero kagandahan nun, hindi alam ng ibang estudyante kung na-solve nung kaklase ninyo ng tama. So, hindi niya alam kung mapapaya siya o hindi. Ang problema kung mayroong spectator sa likod, baka nang supog. Lalo pag mali, nako, kawawa yung estudyante. Hindi na yan, pustaan tayo, hindi na yan. Next time na tawagin yan, may daruyangan na, halika na ngayon susunod. Hindi ko ngayakan aram. Although, alam niya, may potential yung bata, pero, effect. Diba? So, mas maganda palagi actually is pleasurable. Pero hindi naman palaging pleasure. Yun nga, tataas yung, o lalaki yung ulo ng estudyante. Yung law of readiness naman, eto nga, yung sabi ko kanina. Alangan man, magturo kayo ng ano yan. Magturo kayo ng fraction. Yung estudyante, di nga alam ang division. Nagturo kayo ng algebra, di nga ni aram kan integers. O naman ganyan makainutod. Right? Tapos, eto yan, problema sa DepEd. Sisihan. Which is actually wrong. Sisisihin nga yung teacher kasi unong nga gidibo ng teacher. Hindi. Ang trabaho ng teacher, kung alam niya may problema yung estudyante dito, bridge the gap. Kaya may mga bridging the gap, di ba? I-bridge niyo yung gap. Okay, sabi, anong problema mo? Kaya nga, ladies and gentlemen, sa lahat ng mga ka-eduk natin dito ngayon na nanonood, meron tayong tinatawag na diagnostic test. Pag nagsisimula pa lang yung klase, i-administer nyo na yun. Saan yung bata ngayon medyo mahina or weak. Di patutulungan ninyo. Ang problema, kung daaman kaya diagnostic test. Pagkalag sa classroom, let's have a test. Yeah. Hindi naman diagnostic test. Okay? So, yung law of exercise naman, lalong-lalo na sa inyo mga math majors, ituturo dito or let's say, i-encourage natin yung mga batang mag-practice ng skill. Lalo na in problem solving. Kasi yun ang pinakamahirap sa lahat. In what sense? Ang problem solving kasi, it's this the summation of all skills in mathematics. Kasi pagpasok ninyo ng LET, pag kayo mag-exam na, puro yung problem solving. Wala naman dyan, yung, for example, magbibigay lang sa inyo ng isang ng isang item, tapos ngayon, factorials, o kaya kung ano mga tawag ba dito, concept sa mathematics. Wala namang ganun. Puro yung problem solving. So, encourage students to do problem solving skills. So, tuturuan nyo sila kung anong tama. Di ba tinuro yun sa inyo kung paano? Di ba magsusulat muna if x of what is equal to ganyan. Sa inyo mathematical, ang sentence. Yung bata kasi, ang problema ganito. Mahina yung language skill. Mahina pa yung mathematics skill. Naku, sakit sa ulo niyan pag nagturo ng problem solving. So, sino na naman dito yung magbibridge ng graph? Di tayo, teacher. Okay? Ang kagandahan kasi niyan, kung yung magulang, marunong sa math, magaling sa math. Ang problema kung hindi, lalo na ngayon, modular, di ba, blended education, how do you, or let's say, how confident are you na yung mga pinsan ninyo or mga kapatid ninyo nag-aaral ngayon sa DepEd is nakukuha yung, let's say, at least 85% of the skill required. Sa ngayong sa grading period ngayon niya, grade 6 siya, or let's say senior high school, gaano kayo ka-confident? Ako, hindi ako masyadong ka-confident kasi the only way actually to determine that is teachers. Ang problema ngayon dahil hindi face-to-face, hindi man monitor ng maayos ng teacher yung estudyante. Sino nagsusolve ng karamihan ng problem sa bahay? Kung yung estudyante diligent, oo. Pero karamihan ng natututo magulang. Bigyan ng jacket. Yung mga magulang. Okay. So, sa mga ka-eduk natin, napakalino naman po yung pagkaka-explain na ating discussan. These 3 laws na nandito actually varies from different students. Kaya sabi ni ma'am, di pagpiritan si estudyante kung di pa kaya, law of readiness. Piritan si estudyante, tanganing makainutod, law of exercise. Piritan si estudyante, or let's say, influence si estudyante na pag hindi mo mukan, may langkaw kan grade mo. Si crush mo, ma-inlove sa'yo mo, law of effect. Yun yung mga bagay-bagay na dapat nating maunawaan sa pagkatuto. Lalong-lalo na sa pag-facilitate ng learning. Thank you very much, Ma'am Rodeline Bovier, for that detailed explanation. Ladies and gentlemen, marami kang natutunan. We'll be right back. Okay, what's up, mga ka-eduk? This is JJ Casenta, your host once again. And time check, it's already 3:04 in the afternoon. Medyo napaaga kami, pero napaaga rin ang inyong pagkatuto. Okay, I hope marami kayo natutunan ngayon. So, meron pa tayong isang topic regarding ngayon sa ating Module 7, which is Behaviorism. And to discuss this, we have our last discussant for today's topic. We have Ma'am Jenny Ann. Tama ba yun? Hulaan ko din yung tamang pag-pronounce ng Tulungan niyo ako kung ano yung tamang pronunciation ulit ng kanyang apelido. Si Ma'am Jenny Ann Bagag. Yan. Naka-off yung mic mo siguro, be. May problema yung microphone mo, be. Nag-ground. Okay na, ma'am?
Hello everyone. So I am Jenny Ann Operant and I am for E.F. Skinner. So sino ba si Boris Frederick Skinner? So he developed the behaviorist theory of operant conditioning. Under operant conditioning, we have the reinforcement and the punishment. So in operant conditioning, behaviors are manipulated when they are followed by either positive or negative reinforcement. So sa positive and negative reinforcement, may intindihan natin lalo yan sa mga susunod na discussion. Then we have Skinner believed that it wasn't what comes before a behavior that influences it, but rather what comes directly after it. So, ang behavior daw ng bata is hindi yan ay influensyan yung ano man yung bago yung behavior niya. Rather, kung ano man yung after the behavior. So, parang kung ano man yung resulta. Then next, he used the term reinforcement to describe consequences that increases a behavior and a punishment to describe those that decrease the behavior.
Okay, ma'am, kaya mong ilapit yung mic mo ng konti? Sige nga, parang may konting ground. Sige nga.
Hello.
Yan, may konting ground yung headphone siguro. Oo. Nasa headphone yan. Medyo mahina. Pero okay lang, sige.
Naiintindihan naman po, sir.
Ilapit mo lang ng konti. Ayan, so sige.
So, ang reinforcement is the consequences or yung kung ano man yung resulta or after the action, kung ano man yung resulta na naibibigay nun para maipagpatuloy yung action. Then, ang punishment to describe those that decrease the behavior. So, ang punishment is para sa punishment, para mapigilan kung ano man yung action na hindi na ayon sa student or kung ano man yung hindi pwede. Next, we have positive reinforcement. Is adding a positive stimulus to encourage behavior. Under positive reinforcement, ang example po nito is a child received money for doing household chores. Siyempre, kapag halimbawa ang isang bata, after a certain action is may na-receive na reward, is mas lalo niya pa itong ipagpapatuloy at uulit-ulitin.
Nga, sa dakuto, sa dalo sa lapi. Pinagtuwa to sa inyo ng mga parents niyo. Okay, sige, let's go.
Example pa din po is yung halimbawa kapag ang bata is may awards sa school, syempre, bibilhan niya kita ng bagong gamit pag may award ka. Isa po yun sa positive reinforcement.
Mga kapatid, okay. Isa yan sa mga pangbudol ng mga magulang. Isa ako sa nabudol niyan, my God. O pag ngayon ka nakakungan, ngayon regalo ang tangay kong wanik. Hindi ako wala ka nakapagot ko man. Jesus ka Marius. Mga na, nagayat ako. Asan ngayon sa wanikan? Arin ngaya. Marius. Ganun na nangyari sa akin dyan eh. Nabudol ako dyan ng mga magulang ko eh. Well anyway, at least na-encourage ako. Oo. Yun nga lang, nakalimutan na nila. Anong nangyari sa akin, ito yung palaging ano yan eh. Yung pangarap ko nung bata pa ako, gusto ko, meron akong PlayStation, meron akong PSP. Tapos, nakalimutan na lang yun ng magulang ko. Tapos, inintindi ko na lang kasi, ang alam ko, mga busy rin silang tao. Alam ginawa ko? Di pagka-graduate ko, nag-ipon ako kasi naging student assistant din ako sa Bicol University. Anong ginawa ko? Yung nakuha kong naipon kong sweldo, binili ko ng PSP. Sabi ko, meron na ako. Sabi ko, ano ngayakan? Udi ngaya. So, sweldo mo nga, binakal mo sa nangayakan. Binakal ko na. Thanks to you. Sabi ko. Pero dahil dahil sa ginawa nilang reinforcement na yon, natuto akong magtipid. Natuto akong magsumikap. No, na hindi lang talaga lahat ng bagay kayang ibigay sa inyo ng magulang nyo. Magsumikap ka para makuha mo yun. Isa sa positive effect. Okay, let's proceed, ma'am.
Yes po, sir. So, next, we have negative reinforcement. So, ang negative reinforcement is removing the negative stimulus to encourage certain behavior. So parang kung ano man yung halimbawa mali na ginagawa nyo is i-remove yun. So for example, a teacher eliminate that night's homework if kids study hard and accomplish a lot in class. So if this happens multiple times, the kids will consistently work harder and be more productive while in the classroom. So syempre kapag wala nang gagawin halimbawa sa gabi or assignment, syempre, may encourage yung students na mag-aral ng mga lessons nila the next day. For example din po nito is kapag halimbawa yung isang instructor is nagbigay ng project and para mas maganda yung kalabasan is halimbawa ito na po ngayong halimbawa magsisilbing major output nyo, and yung ibang activities is i-eliminate na para makapag-focus po sila.
Yeah, discarding malupit na pampabawas ng trabaho. Yung mga pinagbabawal na technique yun namin. Okay, sige.
Next po, sir, is the positive punishment. So, positive punishment is adding a negative stimulus to discourage behavior. So, sorry for the unnecessary noise.
Okay lang yun, be. What tayo? Extension tayo ng ABS-CBN Sports in Action kasi. Okay, diretso.
Example po ng positive punishment is scolding a student to stop texting in class. So, syempre, may mga instructor or professor or teacher na hindi hinahayaan na mag-cellphone yung mga estudyante para syempre makapag-focus sa lesson. So, by that is para naman yun sa kabutihan nila. Kaya it is regarded as positive punishment. So next, we have negative punishment is removing a positive stimulus to discourage behavior. For example, losing access to a toy, being grounded, and losing reward tokens are all examples of negative punishment. So in each case, something good is being taken away as a result of the individual's undesirable behavior. So, yun na po. So next, we will move to the behavioristic teaching. So under behavioristic teaching, so what is behavioristic? So a school of psychology that confines itself to the study of observable and quantifiable aspects of behavior and excludes subjective phenomena such as emotions and motives. So behavioristic is our actions, our actions depends upon on our emotions and motives. Next, we have teaching. A teaching is engagement with learners to enable their understanding and application of knowledge, concepts, and processes. So, under teaching, we are learning something. So, it involves the teacher and students' interaction. So, how to apply behaviorism to teaching? First, teacher leads the class through a topic. So, syempre, ang teacher is ini-introduce muna yung certain topic sa kanyang mga estudyante. Para makapag-isip-isip na sila and para maging interactive or yung para magkaroon ng collaboration between teachers and students. Then next, students listen silently. So, yes, students should listen silently so that they will understand what the teacher says or what the teacher discusses to avoid unnecessary distractions. The next, teacher then sets a task based on the information. So, dapat ang teacher is yung binibigay niyang task is based sa information na ibinigay doon sa certain topic. Then, students complete the task and await feedback. So, as the students completed the task, they are waiting for the feedback so that they can assess their performance in a certain activity. Then, next, the teacher gives feedback, then sets the next task. So, after the teacher giving feedback, the teacher will set the next task so that they can relate the two tasks. Then next, with each round of feedback, the student is being conditioned to learn the material. So, after several feedback, syempre is nagiging aware na yung bata kung ano yung improve and kung ano yung dapat nilang kung ano pa yung dapat nilang malaman sa certain topic. Then next, we have techniques to improve students' progression and attainment. So may mga strategies daw na pwedeng maka-improve sa students' progression and attainment. So first, quick feedback. So kapag ang teacher is madaling nakapagbigay ng feedback sa kada activity, is mas nagiging aware nga yung mga estudyante and mas na-assess nila yung performance nila and kung saan sila mag-excel and everything. Then next, reward revision. So sa pag-revise na any activity is the teacher should revise it positively so that the students can, so parang hindi sisira yung, parang hindi mahihiya yung estudyante na sa kanilang pagkakamali, and parang sa teacher dapat is maganda yung approach sa pag-revise nun. Then next, start of lesson routine. So the teacher should set the environment that is conducive to learning. So kapag lively ang, halimbawa pagkapasok pa lang ni teacher is yung mood ng teacher is masaya or ganon, syempre nagiging setting na yon ng environment. And kapag syempre bad trip yung teacher, syempre minsan ang ibang estudyante is nagiging tahimik na kasi di nila alam kung bakit bad trip si teacher, which is dapat
Walang jowa.
Kaya dapat is the routine of the lesson should dapat may connection and nagsisimula yan sa environment. Then we have the behaviorism. The advantage is the learner was shaped using rewards and punishment. So, ang learner is mas nauhubog sila rewards and punishment. Siyempre, kapag nabibigyan ng reward is mas lalong nagiging determinado sa mga gawain, and kapag nabigyan naman ng punishment, ang iba tinitake it as negatively, and dapat is we take it as positively kasi syempre para din naman sa atin itong mga estudyante. And kung ano man yung sinabi ni teacher is tanggapin and depende.
Anong depende?
Depende po, sir.
May
Syempre,
kondisyon?
access din naman kung halimbawa pag deserve naman yung sinabi ni teacher, deserve mo naman, syempre kailangan tanggapin mo na kasi deserve mo naman yun. And para din naman sa kabutihan mo yun sa mga estudyante. Then, we have the disadvantage daw ng behaviorism is the theories mainly tested to animals, so the findings may not completely apply to human behavior. So, syempre, kung i-assess natin yung mga theory is based sa animals is in detail, syempre parang hindi natin maiano yun sa tao, pero kung we will think out of the box and we will relate it to education, syempre it will turn into a positive one. So we don't have to take it so parang in a detail kung ano talaga yung explanation. So, syempre we will think for the relationship of it to the educational setup. So, to conclude, so by providing valuable and speedy feedback, rewarding good behavior, and getting students used to routines, teachers start to create habits in students that improve their learning. So, kapag si teacher is palaging nagbibigay ng feedback sa kada activity and nagbibigay siya ng reward sa kada magandang na gawa ng mga estudyante is and na parang nagiging syempre nagkakaroon nito ng parang magandang
Magandang
fit sa mga estudyante. And so parang
Ayan, parang nawawala na yung estudyante ni sa lahat ng estudyante ngayon dito. Ayan, nakabalik na.
So yun po sir, is the teacher is the number one moderator of the students' learning. Minsan kahit napakahirap ng isang subject, kapag si teacher is iba yung approach niya, and mas napapadali ang isang topic. Yun po sir. So yun lamang po. Thank you.
Ayos. Okay, so hindi lang ako makapag-comment sa iyo, ma'am, kasi nagpi-feedback yung yung microphone mo. So, ayun, thank you very much. Pwede mong i-off yung audio. Yan. Yung mic mo. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, napakalinaw ulit ng explanation ni ma'am, okay? So, hindi na ako masyadong mag-elaborate pa paano, because lahat naman kasi ng ng discussion natin is na-explain ng malinaw ng ating mga discussant ngayong hapon. So, mapatungkol sa behaviorism, ito talaga po yung palagi nating na-obserban sa loob ng classroom. Okay, so linawin ko lang ulit kanina. Okay, so regarding dito kay B.F. Skinner, yung operant conditioning po ay yan. Tatandaan lang natin. Observe nyo yan. May positive reinforcement, may negative reinforcement. Meron din positive punishment pala, meron din negative punishment. Okay? Ini-elaborate yan kanina sa atin ni ma'am, at may nagbigay na rin ako ng example. Yung nabudol ako ng mga magulang ko. Okay, pero lahat ng ito according sa ating discussant ngayon, okay, na sino nga to? Si Ma'am Jenny, na lahat naman to ay may kagandahan. Okay, so lahat naman to merong tawag ba dito, magandang may dudulot sa ating mga mag-aaral. Okay, yun nga lang, sabi ngayon, depende talaga sa estudyante, depende rin kay teacher. So yun po, ladies and gentlemen, yung ating mga topic for today. So, ladies and gentlemen, huwag kayong aalis. We'll be right back. Alright, so magandang hapon ulit sa inyo mga ka-edu. This is Seiji Kasensai. And time check, it's already 3:24 in the afternoon. Napakaganda po ng usapan natin ngayon regarding Module 7, which is Behaviorism under the course Facilitating Learner-Centered Teaching. So, na-explain natin mga reporters natin, ng mga discussants natin ngayong hapon, kung gaano ito kadetalyado at gaano ito ka-importante sa ngalan ng pagkatuto. So mga ka-edu, I hope you learned something. At ngayon, babalikan natin ang ating mga discussion, and I would like to ask a very important questions regarding po dito sa ating topic, which is behaviorism. So ang tanong dito is, gaano ba siya ka-relevant para matutunan ng isang mga pre-service and in-service teachers in this time of pandemic, lalong-lalo na sa online learning? So gaano ba siya ka-relevant? Okay? So sino unang sasagot? Okay? So, Ma'am Salturio, okay, it's your chance po to answer. Gaano po ba siya, ma'am, para sa iyo ka-relevant? Okay, relevant ba siya or hindi? Ano sa tingin mo?
Sa tingin ko po, sir, relevant po siya. As a pre-service teacher, dapat matutunan yung self-behaviorism. Dahil po kung ngayon kasing online class na po tayo. Nasa new normal. Both the teacher or the instructor and us students have difficulty. So, hindi man siya face to face, hindi mo mararamdaman yung emotion kapag yung feelings kapag face to face, kapag sa virtual lang po, sir. Tapos since online lang ako, virtual, hindi na po nga siya na monitor. So, if kunwari kapag Gmeet or kapag may virtual meeting, hindi nakakompleto yung estudyante. Hindi yung iba wala. Hindi nga siya minsan nakakalahati. So hindi ma-identify ng instructor kung yung student ba is walang signal, kaya ba siya hindi nakapasok, or di kaya tinatamad kaya hindi siya pumasok, or meron pang other reasons.
O yung teacher hindi nakapasok dahil tinatamad. Baka isa ako doon. Tapos ano pa?
So yun nga po. So minsan ngayon nawawalan na kasi ng gana nung unang year na online class. Yung mga estudyante mahirap silang mag-adjust.
Last year, nagsisimula pa lang.
So parang yun na yung parang ng teacher kung ano bang gagawin niya, anong action, anong motivation para maano niya yung student niya na pumasok. So yun. So relevant po siya, sir, na matutunan din natin. Lalo na ngayong online class, kailangan i-develop o di kaya mag-strategize pa tayo na magkaroon ng yun nga.
So more approach, okay? So or change methods. Okay, kung ano po. Thank you very much, ma'am. Very well said, okay? So let's proceed po sa next discussion po. Si Ma'am Calpos. Ma'am, sa tingin mo, ma'am, relevant or hindi? Why? O, ikaw na. Hindi pa sa camera. Yan. Yan na. Ikaw na. Sige, ma'am.
So, this topic, relevant, lalo na this online classes, kasi iba yung behaviorism, papasok siya sa adjustment, kasi iba yung presence kapag face to face kaysa sa online class. Maraming parang disadvantage kasi. Then yung mga estudyante nag-a-adjust sa ngayong online class kasi maraming problema dahil na sa gamit, sa gadgets, tapos dagdag pa yung internet, minsan walang signal, minsan meron, minsan naman mahina. Yung maraming nahihirapan ngayong online class, kaya yung i-a-adjust, hindi lang yung self mo, pati yung behavior na meron ka. Kasi yung ibang estudyante, karamihan, tinatamad na kasi marami talagang problema ngayong nag-online classes tayo. Yun lang po.
Ayos, thank you very much, ma'am. Tama yung mga sinabi ninyo, adjustment. So dapat sensitive si teacher, di ba? Alam ko rin yan kasi nag-estudyante pa ako. Ang hindi ko lang alam, kasi hindi ko naranasan na estudyante ako noon ng online class. Naranasan ko siya ngayon bilang isang guro. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, teaching and learning process are inseparable things. Ibig sabihin, kung nahihirapan si estudyante, nahihirapan si sir, si ma'am. Kung nahihirapan si teacher, nahihirapan din si estudyante. Kaya ang pinakamadali is advantage. Okay? Or so let's say, ang tawag ba dito, mali yung word na advantage, adjustment. Tama yung sabi ninyo. Right? So, kinakailangan pong mag-adjust. Lalo-lalo sabi ni Ma'am Bukalbos, yung emosyon. Chill-chill lang. Lakadipiso lang nga mga boy ngwana. Diyo pa ka magparog ang Jesus ko, di ba, ma'am? Okay. So, thank you very much po. And Ma'am Pubier po, next. Ma'am, relevant ba para sa iyo ang Module 7, Behaviorism,
Yes,
sa online learning?
Kasi ngayon pong online learning is parang parehas yung teacher, tas yung student is nag-a-adjust pa. And this behaviorism approach or the behavioristic approach is mag-serve siya as guide para yung knowledge is ma-absorb ng student and para ma-assess sila kung may natututunan ba sila or wala through online classing. So, with the help of this behaviorism po, parang ma-assess natin kung nahihirapan ba or parang may na-absorb bang knowledge yung students from attending the classes or wala. And kung wala naman siya or parang kung nahihirapan yung student is mag-iisip ng other ways or strategies para mas maka-cope up po yung mga students. Lalo na po ngayong pandemic kasi hindi naman po lahat privilege ng mga students.
Okay, well said, ma'am. So yun, napakalinaw lang yung sinabi ni ni Ma'am Rodeline Bubier, kasi ako nga tinesting ko rin mag-data. Very convenient. Jesus ko, Marius. Alam mo yung transfer speed, yung upload speed dapat sa ano tawag ba dito? Sa OBS or let's say in broadcasting, okay, or let's say in live streaming, dapat pumatak yan ng 20 to 50 MB. Kung bumaba yan dyan, hindi na siya decent speed. Ibig sabihin, putol-putol tayo, choppy, naiiwan yung boses, naiiwan yung... So, hindi siya talaga po informative. At hindi siya makakatulong sa paglinang ng kaalaman ng mga estudyante. Bagkus, makakasira pa ng ulo. Putol-putol. Agad ni Jesus Kumar Yosef. So, ngayon, sabi ni ma'am, we need to try to cope up with different strategies. Okay, sabi nga natin, wala naman talagang the best strategy. Pero at least yung pinaka-appropriate. So ngayon, ginawa ko yung live stream. Pa yung iba yung estudyante, di ba, na hindi naman maka-access ngayon, once na na-upload ko yung video, kahit mamaya bukas, okay, hanggang next year, pwede nyo balikan, i-download nyo lang. So you can adjust for the system. You can adjust with this online class. Di ba? So napakalinaw yung pagkaka-explain ni Ma'am Babier. So we need to have more approaches and methodologies in teaching, not only one. Okay, so but more. Ayan, that of course is in accordance with the scenario nowadays, lalo na sa pandemic. Thank you very much, Ma'am Pabier. Okay, and yung last nating discussant, si Ma'am Jenny. Ma'am, gaano ba siya ka-relevant para sa iyo? Come on.
Good afternoon ulit, sir. So, behaviorism po is very relevant in today's new mode of learning. So, behaviorism, it really challenges the teachers and the students on how they react in a certain teaching and learning process. So, kailangan talaga na ang lahat mag-adjust, ang lahat ay umintindi para maging wait lang. Ang lahat ay kailangan mag-adjust para syempre maging easy din yung way of learning ng mga estudyante. Kasi ang teacher is nahihirapan din, sabi mo nga po sir, and ang students is nahihirapan din. So kapag naiintindihan and very open yung teacher sa mga different situation ng kada estudyante, is mas nagiging maganda yung flow ng teaching and learning process. So, relevant po talaga ang behaviorism on how the teacher reacts on a certain behavior of the student given this new set of mode of learning. Na
O ano? Mag-iingat ka sa sasabihin mo. Joke lang. Sige, ma'am, diretso.
So yun nga po sir, dapat is yung teacher is open for new strategies. So syempre yung ibang estudyante is minsan hindi nakaka-join sa Gmeet. So by simply with malawak na pag-iintindi and patience is mas nagiging maganda po sir yung flow ng discussions and mas nagiging informative. Yun po sir.
Ayos. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I think na-explain ng napakadetalyado at very informative ng ating mga discussant ang topic natin today. So sabi nila, majority, it is very relative. Kaya nga, ang pinakapunot dulo talaga ng lahat ng kahirapan ngayon sa online learning is yung kulang sa unawa. Lalong-lalo na dito sa behavior. Okay, so sa nararamdaman, sa pwedeng mangyari sa estudyante, sa pwedeng magawa, sa pwedeng maging epekto sa estudyante ng online learning. So sabi nga ng aking isang mentor, okay? Sabi ni Dr. Si Sir Benji, si Dr. Benjamin Debres. Sabi ni Sir, in this time of pandemic, make things simple. Tapos ang usapan. Wag na daw yung mga komplikadong bagay. Komplikado na nga yung sitwasyon, papa-complicating mo pa. Hindi. Just make these things, lalong-lalo na ang learning, simple. Simple as that. That's it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think dito na po nagtatapos ang ating discussion for today's topic regarding sa Module 7, Behaviorism. And I would like to congratulate our discussant for today's topic kasi napakalinaw at napakadetalyado ng kanilang pagkakadiscuss. Congratulations sa inyo guys. Maraming salamat again sa ating mga discussant coming from Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Mathematics, third year students. Okay? So ngayon, I think it's time for us for shout out ulit sa ating mga naiwang mga viewers. Baka meron pa kayong mga viewers na gusto magpa-shout out. It's time to make them shouting. Okay. So ngayon, I think it's time us. Sino may nagre-review? Huwag mo na kayo mag-review. Okay, nagre-review sa Facebook. Okay, yung sorry kasi pinapanood nyo yan eh. Okay. Sabi ko sa inyo, delay siya. Anyway, so tingnan natin ang huling message, okay? Word of thanks. Okay, sa ating first discussant, Ma'am Salturio. Ma'am, huling bati po. Okay, shout out na po lahat.
Sir. So may gustong magpa-shoutoutan from other course naman po siya. Si Cyril, June Malangit, Rehilme. Hi, Sai! Hindi ko na alam kung nanonood pa siya. Shoutout sa'yo. And then si Justin, Republica, then Divina Sario. Kung may nanonood. At sa mga kabarangay ko, kung may nanonood pa ulit. Barangay Ubaliw. And sa lahat ng besides math tips, sana may natutunan kayo. Hindi lang sa mga taga-besides math, at sa mga lahat ng manunood ng live stream namin na to. Sana may matutunan kayo about behaviorism. And that would be all.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Abril May Salturio. Thank you very much, Ma'am. Okay, well said po. And another word of thanks kay Ma'am Kyle Bocalbos. Ma'am? Naka-off na naman yung mic mo. Ladies, ano?
Again, thank you po sa mga viewers natin dyan. Sana meron po kayong mga natutunan, mga bagong natutunan sa mga na-topic namin.
Okay, ma'am. Any shout-outs? Pasalamatan mo yung mga parents mo dyan. Baka may merienda naman.
Thank you sa parents ko.
Okay.
Shoutout sa mga math peeps natin dyan.
Okay, shoutout sa mga math peeps. Okay? Okay, kasi sila po ay math majors, third year students. So, lahat po ng mga mathematics people, shoutout po sa inyong lahat sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayong hapon. Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Kyle Bocalbos. Okay, and next po, si Ma'am Rodeline Babier. Ma'am, word of thanks po.
So, and thank you po sa mga nanood ng live stream, and I hope may natutunan kayong bago and may na-absorb kayong knowledge from us, and congrats sa atin for the job well done. Shout out sa mga banana peeps.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Babier. Okay, well said. And yung last discussant natin sa sa Sports and Action Center. Okay. Ma'am Jenny. Okay, word of thanks po.
First, thank you po, sir. Then, thank you din sa mga nanood at nakisama sa natin sa pagkalap ng iba't ibang impormasyon. And thank you to all the thank you sa mama at papa ko, Char.
Kahit wala baon.
Sana po may natutunan kayo and always wear face mask. Take it easy and lahat po ay ligtas din.
Tapos tayo hindi.
Stay.
Safe.
Okay, so yun mga Keduk, what's up again? This is JJ Kasensai at nagkaroon lang kami ng medyo mahabang break. Salamat sa kuryente, my God. Naputol yung aming live stream dahil dun sa power interruption. Okay, but anyway, so thank you very much ulit sa ating mga discussant. Okay, nasaan na kayo? Ayan po sila, mga kapatid. Okay, so sana, nakauwi ng maayos si Miss Magangan. So, kasya pa naman yung huling nag-shoutout kanina. Anyway, baka may gusto pang mag-shoutout ulit. Okay, it's your turn bago tayo magtapos ng ating segment ngayong hapon regarding sa Module 7 which is Behaviorism. Okay? Okay, shoutout po kayo ulit. Okay? Ma'am Salturio, come on.
Shout out po sa magulang ko. hindi ko po sila na shout out kanino. So,
okay.
Shout out po sa kanila. Very supportive dahil may load. Umabot po tayo ng halos magdadalawang oras. So, thank you.
Okay.
Next naman, sana sila ulit. Paloadan ulit nila ako.
Yes, thank you very much. And Ma'am Kyle.
Again, thank you and shout out nga pala sa mga parents ko, sa mga viewers natin dyan. Sana may natutunan kayo mga bagong kaalaman sa mga topic namin ngayon. Yun naman po.
Okay, ayos. Hindi pa naalis yung mga blush on ninyo, no? Okay lang. Sabi nyo, nagtitiktok kayo kanina. Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Kyle. Okay, Bocalbos. Okay, and Ma'am Bobier.
So, shout out ulit sa kay Kyle po na nasa loob, nakipalitan po sa akin ng pwesto. And
Lat mo na raw. Saan ka mo? Saan ka mong balay? Kisaya balay?
bahay po nila.
Bahay nila Kyle.
Opo.
Okay, so dyan kayo. Okay naman yun, di ba? At least share kayo ng lugar. Yun nga lang, medyo malayo dapat. Okay? So thank you very much once again, our dear discussants for today's topic, which is Module 7 and Behaviorism. Okay, along facilitating learner-centered teaching. Okay? So thank you very much ulit, Ma'am Salturio, Ma'am Kyle Bocalbos, and Ma'am Bobier. And of course, dun sa ating isang discussant na naglalakad na po pabalik sa kanyang pinanggalingan. Kay Ma'am Bagangan. Ma'am, ingat po. Thank you very much. Kahit di ka na po nakabalik sa aming segment ngayong hapon. Anyway, thank you very much po ulit sa inyong very well detailed information and discussion regarding po sa topic natin, which is Module 7, Behaviorism. Yun lamang po, and this is CJ Kasenta, your host, at palagi nagsasabi, in this time of pandemic, tandaan lang palagi. Okay? Para matuto na malupit, di adet, badbapaknet. Thank you very much, guys. Congratulations. Bye-bye po. And keep safe. God bless po. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir!
Bye!